Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fire Force Chapter 246. When we last left our heroes, Arthur and Dragon finally began their long-awaited rematch, and it was a sight to behold. And that's kind of it. They just kind of started their fight. There were some great moments, some great clashes. But then, yeah, they're still just kind of squaring each other off. Dragon had this moment of respecting Arthur's swordsmanship, but beyond that, is just kind of the opening salvo of their fight. So let's jump right on into Chapter 246, Destruction Spell. Which is an interesting line, because last chapter it said this title would be, so we continue in Chapter 246, 250 Years of Obsession. Which is not the same thing as Destruction Spell. But anyway, our cover here is a color picture of Shinra. We see specifically highlighted are the tattoos that Doppel Shinra got put on. And yeah, he's wearing like a red scarf around his neck. He's like sunglasses on his head. I don't know. Anyway, jumping right on in to our actual cover is a picture of Amaterasu with a face on it. At the heart of this world, a monument of hope and despair towers over all. Chapter 246, Destruction Spell. Alright, so, that's something. And we open in the halls of Amaterasu with Vulcan, Lisa, and Yu. And Yu hears the noise of the battle in the distance. What's that sound? And Vulcan tells him, I guess the battle started. And Lisa responds, we need to hurry and do our part. And Vulcan agrees, we're not going to let them get away with this. Let's find this keyhole. And we see, like, just how, we see the darkness encroaching around them. They're only this little tiny square in, like, the corner of the panel. This is my ancestors' legacy. I'd love to give the place a good look, but we just don't have the time. And Lisa turns to Vulcan, so what do you know about this key? We're pretty confident it's the ignition for the Cataclysm. As for that sequence of numbers, well, it's pi, right? The sequence of numbers is pi, because that's what was in the tabernacle. But anyway, we see them continuing on, looking around, making their way through pipes. I'm not entirely sure there's anything we're supposed to really be gathering from this page, other than there's a lot of pipes in Amaterasu. There's the occasional, like, letter and number combination. We see on the top panel there's, like, MTRS 20-something-5. Vulcan looks up in an area that has, like, G something, and then SB something. But I'm not sure if there's anything in particular we're supposed to be gleaning from this. But Yu looks around. This is some incredible technology. You aren't kidding. But at a glance, it doesn't look to be much more than support mechanics or power generation. Based on what we know about the Amaterasu from the Chinese peninsula, the keyhole we're looking for should be at the center. But as I recall, that one wasn't that much of a labyrinth like this one seems to be. But anyway, Vulcan looks looks ahead, and we see it's kind of darkened. Which I'm gonna bet is a bad sign. No, I was thinking like Giovanni was gonna pop out right then and there. Because that's just the kind of thing he does. He's the kind of guy who would pop up in a way he has no place of being in. Anyway, Vulcan continues, according to the map Joker got for me, it should be just ahead, on the other side of this gate. And we see this very large gate. There's like a sun symbol in the center. It's very kind of, we see like a couple of Japanese characters on it. It's very kind of traditionally Japanese from the looks of it. With the slightest bit of like steampunk sensibility mixed in. But it also like dwarfs the three of them. And Lisa voices her concern. We can't open it without any juice, right? How are we going to get this massive thing open? And Vulcan calls for Yu. I've got it with me. The Ultra Battery, right? And he fishes it out of his backpack. This ought to get it moving. And he attaches it to the little box. I don't know enough about tech to really describe it. but it kind of looks like a chameleon, which is very much in line with Vulcan's whole aesthetic. Alright, let's get this thing open. And with that, the doors open. And a really nice panel. As we see, it's kind of like a traditional panel. We see out looking in on the trio as they see what's inside the gate. And it's Giovanni's behind them. What a gentleman opening the door for me. Okay. For a second there, I thought Giovanni would just be in there already, because like I said, definitely his style. But also, what a great fucking page. Like, the Amaterasu arc as a whole has had some fucking incredible, like, panel composition and just, really like gets you into the mood of the arc. And this is no slouch either, page 10 here, as we see Giovanni, like, looming over the trio. Like, he isn't even vaguely human anymore. And Lisa instinctively summons her tentacle and, like, slashes at him. And Giovanni just hisses, "Lisa!" Which is creepy as fuck, Giovanni. And Vulcan snaps at him, "We had people protecting the entrance. How the hell did you get inside? Who really knows how and when a bug gets in?" Alright, Giovanni. And you concerned, Vulcan, what do we do? We just have to handle it. Nobody else can. And you kind of clutches at himself, and he flashes back to Vulcan, to Giovanni, grabbing him by the throat. And Vulcan looks back at him. "You good, you?" "Yeah, I'm just grateful. You saved me back then. You and Lisa, and of course Shinra and Arthur and the sister. Everyone in Company 8 was there for me. It's all thanks to you I'm still alive. You made that happen. This doesn't seem to be quite the right time for this, you. Giovanni is right there to kill you, and now you're going on this whole spiel about being saved in the past. Oh, and the doctors and nurses who used their skills to help me? This world has so much love in it. And the near-fatal wound he gave me just reminded me of that all over again." Okay. Thank you very much, Giovanni-san. Thank you so much for hurting me. That's weird. That's weird, right? That's weird. And Vulcan just he reacts very normally, given how weird that was. "We get it. Now move." "Yes, sir." And we get a better look at Giovanni now. And he's I'm trying to find the way to describe him, because what in the fuck does he look like right now? Like, I made these jokes with Yona before, and I kind of made this joke last time we saw Giovanni, how he almost looked like the Void at this point. But this is something else. He's like this very thin tendril with his head at the top of it. And he's got a couple other spikes coming out of a base. It's really funky looking. But anyway, Giovanni responds, "Oh no, I should be the one expressing my deepest gratitude. For 250 years, you safeguarded something so precious. Our key to Amaterasu. That key belongs to my family. Then surely you know what it is." And he kind of goes to uses something to I think he sends one of his little black spikes down on the trio. And Lisa guards it with her tentacles. And Vulcan yells, "Of course I know what's inside of it. It's pi, isn't it?" Spot on. Okay. But pi is a number. What does it mean that pi is inside the key? I mean, Amaterasu is a circle, and pi is important for circles. So maybe that's part of it? I don't know. The pi mystery has been kind of lingering for almost 150 chapters now. And maybe we're finally going to get some answers on that? Pi is a spell of destruction, which the evangelist has worked on since antiquity. Okay, this is getting weird again. This is getting fucking weird again. Fascinating panel composition here, though, as it's just 3.14 over 2/3 of the page, and then the line on top of it. And Vulcan asks, "A spell? A spell which humanity has chanted and taught for generations." And now, with the idea of destruction firmly planted in their minds, we have finished solving pi. Okay, and Vulcan counters, understandably, you solved pi? That's ridiculous. Pi doesn't have an end. There's no way you could have solved it. That problem was solved with the last cataclysm. Pi is still pi. It's the same as it's always been. And then Giovanni points out what I've been calling attention to for chapters now. Haven't you seen them? The moon and stars floating in the sky. Well, the moon was called attention to by Hibana in the aftermath of the fight with Hibachi. But the stars were what I pointed out. The very physics of this world have been altered. The last cataclysm didn't just usher in an age of spontaneous human combustion. Pi was made solvable. What does that mean? I mean, I've criticized the bonkers physics that we saw with, like, with fairies' powers, but this is also just really, really weird. And now, with pi solved, we may finally bring mankind's evolution to its terminus. What do you mean by terminus? There is a theory that the final stage of any creature's evolution is ruin, extinction, and the theory is quite correct. Humanity longs for the end, the terminus of their evolution. Their ultimate goal is to become nothing more than a yearning for death. And that yearning means the cataclysm, their ultimate aim. And Vulcan counters, bullshit! You guys are just a death cult. Hehehe. A cult, you say? I'll have you know, little wretch, that our cult comes from the same place as cult, as you call it, comes from the same place as all the religions. Do you know who bestowed it upon humanity? And Vulcan asks, you're saying it's all been the evangelist? I mean, we kind of knew that. That was brought up back in, early season 2 of the anime had that. I think it might have been in the Sol Temple, we discussed that. Which is, mid-season 2, but still. A long time ago, we had this idea that, the evangelist is responsible for all pre-cataclysm religion. But so it's not exactly new information. Also, something I just kind of noted with page 19 here. For the first time, we're kind of seeing eyes, like the whites of his eyes in Giovanni, and it doesn't feel like just the reflection of his mask. Something about it feels more eye-like, especially at the top of page 20. I'm also thinking the bottom of 19, but that might just be the way the reflection is played in his goggle. But 20, that looks like he has an iris and a pupil and everything there, which is really weird looking. But anyway, the evangelist has planted the end in the mind of every man, deep in their psyche. The evangelist also planted sun worship within their minds. She has inclined them towards an image of annihilation, to return to the flame, to return to the sun. And Vulcan just stunned. The sun? Why? What does the sun have to do with death? Hehehehe. Why, for this is the second Earth. Oh, wait, hold on. Is the sun a prior Earth? The sun which hangs in the sky above you was once, long, long ago, born through a cataclysm. And we see Vulcan's understandable shock. To be continued after 247, 250 years of obsession. Okay. Alright. So, there's a lot going on here. And a lot of it is just, wild. Some of the shit that's just borderline completely ununderstandable is the solving of pi. And there still is a sense that we don't really know what pi can do now. If pi has changed since the first cataclysm, what can it do at the moment? How is it going to lead the world to death? I mean, we see Giovanni makes a good point. The physics of this world have been altered. The moon has a face. Stars make little star shapes in the sky. It all has to do with the collective consciousness and all that. But there's still the question of what the deal is with pi now. And I don't know. I don't have any idea. I mean, I figure we're going to find out over the next few chapters what exactly is the deal with Pi. I thought we might get it here, but we kind of got sidetracked by the big reveal that the sun was the Earth at one point. The sun became a sun through the cataclysm. What? Okay. I've accepted that the series has kind of moved beyond even being vaguely accurate physics-y. Once you have Fairy's whole, the flames make you heavy and weight makes you fly away from the Earth, you accept there's no more physics here anymore. But I'm still trying to figure out how that, like, there has to be, because the cataclysm comes into being through collective consciousness. To have collective consciousness, you must have people. To have people, you must have life. To have life, you must have a star to give warmth. That's how the world works. So, what was the star that gave the first Earth life? There had to have been one. Was it also created by a cataclysm? If so, what star gave that planet life? Was it also created by a cataclysm? If so, you see where this is going. There's no end. So, and if there was a prior star that burned out at some point, there'd be some kind of remnant of that, wouldn't there? I think. I'm not that much of a... I don't know much at all about physics, but I think I know that much. But yeah, this is one of those absolutely wild chapters that Ohkubo hits us with sometimes. I haven't even talked about whatever the fuck is going on with you, as he's grateful to Giovanni for almost killing him. And is just kind of brushed aside in the weirdest way I've ever seen. It seemed like there's something more going on there. But then we just kind of leave it to go deal with, Pi, and the sun wasn't Earth at one point. There's just so much going on here, and that's not even talking about the fact that we're just ignoring the whole Arthur versus Dragon thing going on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any idea. But good lord, does this chapter have some great panel compositions. Page 10 is just a great page. Like, that's some good fucking shit right there. The way Giovanni, looms over the trio, it's great. And I can't wait to see what absolute bullshit Ohkubo hands us next. And I say bullshit in the kindest way possible. But yeah, that's all I have to say for this video. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!